What's going on, people? Welcome to 137 Works, and today we're having a look at my first ever win in iRacing. And after a dreadful start, I will let you know that we are driving the MX5 Cup in Tsukuba Circuit. So basically, I'm going to talk about some stuff from my point of view, what I thought about the race, and some of the kind of incidents that happened here. So you can see it's a bit of a messy start. There's a few little dings and scratches, obviously, as to be expected. I'm a complete rookie. I'm in the rookie class. I've only done literally like 5 races. So, you know, to win a race within my first 5, I was pretty stoked on. But it does come with a lot of luck, as you'll see. So it was a fairly clean race. You can see here, if you look at the replay camera, I get very close to that guy's back bumper. I think about a move around the outside into this corner here, and I kind of back out the last second. You know, being cautious the first lap, not pushing it too hard. But then you see like some weird stuff happens here as we come around this kind of second class corner. Pretty far back, but under braking I get a nice line. He goes a little bit wide, so I go for it. I go up the inside, and at this point I don't think there's any reason for any contact there. We do make a little bit of a ding, and then something happens here. You can see the wheel. I'm just ever so slightly like wobbling it a bit. I think maybe, if my memory serves me right, I did accidentally like pull it a bit to the left too much, and I promise it was an accident. I tried to be as clean a driver as possible, but I do think I slightly just pulled it to the left a bit. But I thought maybe that I was close enough out to the right hand side rather that it wouldn't make a difference. But he was obviously coming from the left, and he was making his way back into the right to defend his position going into the final corner. But it was all for naught, obviously, as we can see, because as we come out of the final corner he spins himself out. So at this point, after starting from 5th, I believe, I am up to 4th, I want to say, after overtaking that guy. Yeah, I think it should be 4th. So there's 3rd, 2nd, and then the first place guy streaks off ahead of us. So the two cars in front of me, basically, there's kind of a quiet period here now where I'm just trying to chase these guys down. I'm just hoping and praying that they'll fight each other, they'll make mistakes, and I can kind of capitalize on it. But while that's all happening, I thought I would explain a bit about my kind of iRacing situation, as I kind of alluded to at the beginning. I've only done about 5 races. Like, I've not really dipped my toes in super deep. I got into it right at the start of quarantine. They were doing a sale for, I think it was like the 3 months for like €5 or something like that. I was like, well, like, it's a no-brainer. Like, to try it out, at least, obviously I'm going to try it out. So I picked it up. My first ever race, I came 2nd. I was tweeting about it at the time. I was all stoked. I'm pretty sure I told my parents for some reason. Like, I was just really super happy about it. Yeah, I came 2nd. But then there was like 2 or 3 races where, like, in a row, where I just got punted out of it, or I didn't know the tracks, and it was just frustrating. It wasn't a great experience, so I left it for a bit, and then I needed the hard drive space on my SSD for something else that I wanted to play, Call of Duty or something maybe, and I uninstalled it a couple of about a month or so ago. So I hadn't been really messing with it, and then for some reason, just something that came to my head to say, you know, like get back into iRacing and give it another bash. So I did, and I'm like happy to say that this was only like my 2nd full race. Was it last night or the night before? Last night, I believe, yeah. As I record this, obviously. So this is only my 2nd race back, which, again, I'm not to my own horn. It's rookie class. I made this. I always try to make sure this. I'm fully aware. It's against other scrubs of my level for the most part. I'm aware of that. Basically, I'm not the fastest driver. I'm not an amazing driver. But out of 5 races, a 2nd and a 1st, I'll take it. Like, I'll take it. And then only to like not get good results because I've been punted out of the other ones. Basically, can't really complain too much. Another thing, just really quickly, because I'm a newbie, I don't know really how to record this game for like the best. I don't have any telemetry on the screen here. I don't know any of the keyboard shortcuts. I'm still learning all that. I wish I could tell you what lap it was, exactly where I was, the kind of having the black box down the bottom right there, which would be covered up normally by the camera here, but because I'm using the replay, I can't see it anyway, I don't think. So you can see, just to touch on the gameplay really quickly, these guys are fighting it out up ahead of me. Like, they're really going for it, and I'm just kind of hanging back, biding my time, just waiting for that mistake. And you can see they both run wide there. The red car goes very wide. It gives me a good chance to catch up, and I make some good ground on them. Again, not the best. I know Tsukuba very well from the Forza days. I've done lap after lap after lap in kind of low powered Civics and stuff like that, races back in the old Forza 3, Forza 4 days. I've played it a lot on, I've done a lot of laps in similar cars, it's low powered Hondas and that kind of thing, in Assetto Corsa. So I've got a general idea of the layout, but obviously the specific physics of iRacing, specific physics of this car, and a specific version like of this track and that kind of thing, they'd all be fairly different. So you can see I'm starting to make up some ground here. But yeah, so just to continue on about my kind of iRacing career sort of thing. I'm just so new to it. I don't know what I want to do. As I make a lunge, do I complete an overtake here? See, because it was last night, but I'm been working all day, so much harder, my brain isn't working. Yeah, so I go for the lunge, and no, I lose out there, so I think I kind of just back out and let him have it. But I get a better exit out of the right-hander there, and despite a little bit of a wobble coming out of the left, I think, do I go for a dive? No, I think better if I was too far away to make a dive for sure there. But, you know, patience is the name of the game. Just kind of keep back. Don't do anything silly. Don't, again, obviously anybody that knows iRacing, don't get incidents. Don't mess up your SR, your safety rating. But, yeah, so as I was saying, I'm trying to talk about two things, but also I'm watching it on the screen, so I'm like... I need to actually comment if something actually does happen. But yeah, so I'm a complete newbie when it comes to all this kind of stuff. I don't know what kind of career path I want to take. I do think of it eventually I want to get... Oh, do I go for an overtake here? Oh, I do. And I think it's pretty clean as well. So again, one of the things I love about iRacing, again, as a complete just sidetrack, that was a pretty clean overtake there, but I think he might get me back on the next corner. He sends it up the inside and I decide not to fight. It's the cleanness of the racing for the most part. Obviously, we're in what I've learned now is called week 13, which is where everything just goes a bit mad as he gains that position back. I'm back to 4th. That was for 3rd as well. But yeah, aside from week 13, which is where everybody goes a bit mad and it's kind of like you have like unranked races and that kind of thing. It's the normal ranked races, the cleanness of them, the fairness of them, the good, honest battling of those kind of races are what really attracted me to it. Like people taking it actually seriously. Because I, for the most part, despite having played Assetto Corsa for 1,000 hours, Forza 3 and 4 for probably another 1,000 between the two of them, whatever, Gran Turismo, Need for Speed, whatever it's been over the years, Project Cars 1 and 2, you name it, if I played it, I've primarily, unless it's drifting multiplayer, I've stayed away from multiplayer completely. I've just never touched it because as I send it up the inside here, it's a bit of a sketchy move. I think I bump him and I take a bit more of the curb and into the dirt a bit more than it was probably fair. So I do realise that was a bit of a dick move on my part, and he doesn't retaliate in any real way, which is, again, goes to further my point about what I'm talking about here. The fact that everybody races clean, everybody races safe in iRacing compared to those other games is why I've stayed away from them. Just you put so much time and effort into qualifying for a race or practicing for it, and then first corner pile-ups, little kids smashing into you, like people going the wrong way around the track, waiting for you at the finish line to take you out, all that kind of stuff. It's just made so many games seem like such a waste of time to me, whereas iRacing rather completely is just like, for the most part, yeah, fair enough, 2 or 3 of the games there's been like accidents or punts or whatever, well, for the most part, I would, if I remember correctly, they were just general bad driving, like people being noobs rather than intentional harmful kind of stuff. And that's the big thing about iRacing that I think that drew me into it. Basically, like I sent a fairly cheeky move up the inside of that guy that last lap around here on this corner, and he didn't try to retaliate, he didn't get angry, he tried to honestly fight me back, and I just happened to have the speed rather over the lap to be able to pull away for the most part. And he didn't do anything about that. He didn't cut the track, he didn't cut back across and try to take me out, thinking that the move that I made was unfair. And you just have to say fair play. Like, that's the kind of multiplayer racing that I'm about, that I want to be about, and that's why I really have enjoyed my time with the little bit amount of time that I've spent in iRacing for the most part so far. So back to the race, where are we now? We are in 3rd. So like, as far as I'm concerned, this is a podium finish. Now, obviously, because it's a replay, you can't hear some of the stuff that I'm getting in my ear from the crew chief, not actual crew chief, the in-game version of crew chief, where he's just like, last lap or blah blah blah. At some point he talks about slow cars ahead, which means basically we're catching up on the back markers, and that's what I think. That's what I initially thought happened at the end to the lead driver. So again, I don't want to give anything away. I will get to that, but just so you know, we're catching up to the back markers. And that's why it gives us a chance to kind of close up the front field. So that car in the red right in front of me is P2. And I think the car ahead of him is a back marker. I think the guy that's in first place is in a bluey, tealy car. Yeah, so you can see we're making our way downtown. And I'm getting closer to this red car, while also like relatively pulling away from the green car behind me. But so what happens here, I think at that moment that we're going to do that. Does anybody know that infamous F1? I'll probably put up a screenshot here if I can find it. That F1 overtake on Spa, where it's Michael Schumacher and I want to say Mika Hakkinen maybe. They overtake either side of like a back marker or whatever, like a blue flag car. They go around either side. One goes left, one goes right into the right hander at Spa. That's what I thought was going to happen there. For some reason, the red car decides last minute, from my point of view, obviously, you never know what his intentions were. But to me, it seemed like last minute he just decided that he didn't want to go around the outside, and he just cut back in front, and we whacked into each other basically. Like it should have gone down that way. He going right, me going left, and the back marker just kind of making sure to stay out of the way. That's how it ideally would have gone. But you can see I make the move around the outside here, and I've got the inside, which means that I have the inside line for the next corner. But yeah, and he makes a dive. I forgot about that. He makes a brave dive, but it was all for naught again, as he kind of just sent it too hard, basically. So at this point, I'm on for second place. I think this is the last lap. But yeah, I just wanted to explain about what happened with that little bump. I thought I was clearly within my rights to be on that inside line there, and he just came back across when he should have gone around to the outside. At this point, I'm like, okay, if I can hold him off, I take a kind of more defensive line there. And although he's right on my tail, he does go wide again to the point where the green car overtakes him, and they have a little bit of contact in the background, as you can see there. But I'm thinking, okay, I hear just before we come around that second last corner, I hear a slow car ahead. I'm like, oh, what happened there? So I'm thinking, okay, second place, just avoid whatever back marker this is. Second place, it's going to be great. I will now play what happens to the lead driver. So when I heard slow car ahead, I just presumed there was a back marker. I presumed that the lead car was going to go on ahead, win the race. Then when I came past this, I was like, oh no, there's been some kind of collision. But I still didn't register as it being the lead car for some reason. When I watched the replay, I was shocked. He just spinned it himself. Second last corner, second last lap. Just dropped it. It was hilarious. I couldn't believe it. You can see, look, G center's in here. I noticed that he's only able to full turn it directly 90 degrees right, which is interesting. It seemed to lock there. But as you can see, he just got on the grass, couldn't get off, and spun out. And you can see us making our way downtown as he takes out a car behind him, which was unfortunate. But you see me coming up here in my beautiful purple and pink with green wheels, blaze on past and take the W. So that's that. It was an interesting race, very fun, very clean, lot of action on the track, and that was my first attempt at an iRacing commentary. Bit all over the place, had to do a couple of takes, apologise. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here, thanks for watching, and goodbye.